She had only 6 hours left to live. 6 hours before her scheduled execution, Rachel Morgan sat alone in her cold prison cell, staring at the wall as the clock ticked toward her final moments. The world believed she was a monster. The court said she was beyond saving. Even the guards avoided meeting her eyes. The prison yard was eerily silent as guards escorted Rachel, shaking, handcuffed, toward the execution wing. For months, the world had believed she was guilty of a crime too horrific to forgive. No appeals left, no visitors, no hope. Except for one final request. When asked what she wanted, Rachel didn't ask for a meal, a priest, or a last phone call. Her voice was calm when she spoke. "I want to see my German Shepherd, just for one last minute." The guards allowed it, assuming it meant nothing. But the moment Max, the K9 who had once served beside Rachel, stepped into the yard, everything changed. He didn't walk toward her, that he lunged, snarling. Straining against the leash, Max charged toward a guard. Refusing to let go, the officers froze. Guards shouted. Inmates screamed. Batons were raised. But Max didn't stop. He wasn't attacking out of fear, that he wasn't confused. He was fighting, desperately, violently, to reach the very man who had testified against Rachel. In that moment, Max wasn't breaking protocol. He was exposing the truth behind the crime Rachel was about to die for. And within minutes, Rachel's execution was halted. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The sun had barely risen when the guards unlocked Rachel Morgan's cell for the final time. Shackles clinked as she stood, her hands trembling, her face pale from sleepless nights. Today was the day the state would end her life, and everyone in the prison knew it. She didn't fight. She didn't cry. She simply whispered, "Please, I need one last request." The officers exchanged hard looks. Prisoners asked for food, a phone call, a prayer. But Rachel's voice broke when she said, "I want to see Max, my German Shepherd." The yard went quiet. Max had been her partner before the arrest, her only family after the world abandoned her. Some guards scoffed. Others shrugged. But one older officer, Daniels, saw something in her eyes, something desperate, human, almost pleading. "It's her last day," he muttered. "Let her see the dog." The warden hesitated before granting permission, more annoyed than sympathetic. Still, the order was given, and word spread quickly through the cell blocks. Inmates pressed against their bars, whispering in disbelief. A condemned woman. And her dog? Rachel's heart hammered as she was escorted outside. She didn't know why she needed to see Max, only that her life couldn't end without him. When the heavy prison gates rolled open, a hush fell over the courtyard. Max was led in by Officer Daniels, his leash tight in the veteran's hand. The German Shepherd's ears were alert, his steps cautious as he scanned the unfamiliar environment. Inmates pressed their faces to the barred windows. Guards crossed their arms, forming a rigid line. Everyone expected a simple, emotional farewell. But Max's reaction stunned them all. The moment he caught sight of Rachel kneeling in her orange jumpsuit, he didn't whine or rush toward her. Instead, he froze. His muscles tensed, tail stiff, eyes narrowing with an intensity none of the officers understood. Rachel's breath hitched. "Max, it's me," she whispered. Max took one step toward her, then suddenly growled, a deep, warning growl. Rachel flinched, confused. Max had never shown aggression toward her, not even once. Officer Daniels tightened his grip on the leash, but Max pulled harder, circling Rachel as if guarding her from something unseen. His nose twitched. His hackles rose. He wasn't afraid. He was alert, hunting for something. The watching guards shifted uncomfortably. "This is odd," one muttered. "Maybe he doesn't recognize her," another said. But Rachel knew her dog. This wasn't confusion. This was instinct. Max stepped in front of her, body rigid, gaze locked, not on Rachel, but on the line of officers standing nearby. His teeth bared. His growl deepened. The courtyard thickened with tension as the officers tensed. Max wasn't there for a goodbye. He was sensing something dangerous, and it wasn't Rachel. Max suddenly yanked free from Officer Daniels' grip, his paws skidding across the concrete as he lunged forward with a force no one expected. Gasps echoed across the courtyard. Rachel instinctively raised her cuffed hands, thinking Max was reacting to her emotional distress. But the dog didn't even look at her. Instead, he pressed his body against her side, blocking her like a shield. His nose worked rapidly. His ears twitched. His eyes tracked every movement of the officers standing behind the warden. Rachel's heartbeat thundered. "Max, what is it? What do you smell?" She whispered, but he only growled in response. Low and warning, the sound vibrating through her bones. Officer Grant, one of the guards who had escorted her countless times, shifted uncomfortably under Max's stare. "Control your dog," he snapped, his voice sharper than usual. His hand hovered near his belt, not for a weapon, but as if he feared being exposed. Max barked, one loud, explosive command bark that echoed off the brick walls. Then everything changed. He lunged straight at Grant. Officers rushed forward, shouting. Grant stumbled back, face pale, as Max snapped at his pant leg, teeth stopping just short of skin. Daniels grabbed the leash, struggling to pull Max away, but the German Shepherd refused to back down. His eyes stayed locked on Grant with laser focus. Fearless, relentless, Rachel watched helplessly as chaos unfolded around her. Max wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't confused. He was doing the one thing he was trained to do better than any human. He was identifying a threat, and from the way Grant trembled, Max wasn't wrong. Grant staggered backward, his face draining of color as Max continued lunging, barking with savage precision. This wasn't random aggression. This was identification. Every officer knew that a trained K9 never reacted like this unless he recognized a scent connected to danger. Daniels tightened his grip on the leash, but Max kept pulling, refusing to let Grant escape his line of sight. Rachel stared, her breath trembling. "Max, why him?" she whispered, her voice cracking. But deep inside, a memory surfaced, a faint smell of industrial grease she'd mentioned during her trial, a scent that investigators brushed aside. The same scent now clung to Grant's uniform. Grant's hand twitched nervously. "Get this animal under control," he barked, but his voice trembled. Another officer, Ramirez, noticed. "Why is he reacting to you specifically?" he asked coldly. Max growled again, circling Rachel before lunging at Grant's boot, nose pressed against the leather. Daniels froze. "He's scent tracking, like he's been here before." That single sentence cracked the silence. Max knows that smell. He smelled it at the crime scene. Grant's jaw tightened. Sweat collected at his temple. "This is ridiculous," he muttered, stepping back. But Ramirez moved in front of him, blocking his path. Then Daniels made the connection. Months ago, Grant had been one of the first officers to secure the crime scene. He had access to evidence and the opportunity to manipulate it. Suddenly, Max barked sharply and sat, alert, staring straight at Grant. A trained K9 signal for, "This is the suspect." And in that moment, every officer understood Grant hadn't been protecting justice. He had been hiding it. The courtyard erupted into chaos as officers surrounded Grant, who stumbled backward, sweating through his uniform. Max strained against the leash, barking relentlessly, signaling danger with the precision only a trained K9 could deliver. Ramirez stepped toward Grant, voice firm. "Turn around. Hands where I can see them." Grant panicked. "This is a setup. That dog is lying," he shouted, but everyone could hear the crack in his voice. His eyes darted toward the exit gate, calculating, planning. Rachel watched in shock as memories crashed into place. The night of the crime, the smell of grease, a shadow wearing prison-issued boots. She had told investigators, but they dismissed her words as desperation. Now the truth stood trembling before them. Grant suddenly bolted. Officers yelled and chased after him, their boots pounding across concrete. Max lunged, dragging Daniels forward like a missile locked onto a target. His paws slapped the ground in rapid rhythm as he followed the fleeing man's scent trail with terrifying accuracy. Grant veered toward the maintenance shed, yanking open the door and scrambling for something inside. But Max reached him first, slamming into his leg and knocking him to the ground. Officers swarmed seconds later, wrenching Grant up in handcuffs. Inside the shed, detectives found discarded evidence, items missing from Rachel's case file. Hidden for months, Max hadn't just identified the real culprit. He had led them straight to the truth. Just hours before Rachel's execution, Rachel sat in the holding cell outside the execution chamber, her hands trembling as the clock struck the hour she was supposed to die. She closed her eyes, whispering a final goodbye in her mind, until the sound of rushing footsteps filled the hallway. The door burst open. "Stop everything!" Ramirez shouted, waving a stack of evidence. "She's innocent." Rachel froze. She couldn't breathe. What are you saying?" Daniel stepped forward, smiling for the first time in months. Grant confessed. Max exposed him. "You're going home." She fell to her knees, burying her face in his fur, sobbing. "You saved me." Again. Hours later, Rachel walked out of the prison gates a free woman, the sun warm on her face. Max trotted proudly beside her, head held high. People called him a hero.